Can I set that up?
Sure.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
You might find this interesting.
Oh, okay. My keyboard not working. That was so weird. Alright. We're back with Pillars of Eternity. I can't get into that rune yet. There's a quest I have to do later on, so it's getting close to that, but not quite now. But I need to go someplace I missed. Bronze Fork. So the plan is to continue to explore. There's a lot to do in the city, so I need to go here. So I want to get some of the missions that I missed. Gotta remember, you've gotta, if you want to go out, you have to, sometimes to unlock 42 hours pass. Anslog's compass. To access certain areas, you have to actually go outside the right part of the map or else it won't show up. I should remember that, but you know, I'm brain damaged. But yeah, back to the ruins. There's a quest I'll pick up in the city that I had to go to. One of the spots I cleared out. And then I get something. Two villagers stand by one of the tide pools. They're breathing harshly, clearly winded, and look up nervously as you approach.
How do you do?
You're here to fish, as we were, stranger. You want to avoid the compass proper. The dwarven woman points to the southeast. Her companion shakes his head. A lot of ships wind up spread across the rocks here, so we didn't think much of the wreckage until we heard something. A terrible noise. I thought maybe it was a survivor, but he wasn't alive. Moving, but not truly alive. It was awful. You said there are a lot of shipwrecks here? The woman nods. All the time. It's a lovely place, but dangerous as anything to sail. Good fishing most days. She wipes her brow. I think we'll look further up the coast next time. So what are you two doing out here? Fishing, of course. Except I lost my fishing rod when I flung it at the head of one of those monsters, he sighs. We were looking the tide pools over and thought we'd try our luck down by the rocks. Got the fight of our lives. We'll have to make do with the nets here or go hungry. What do you mean? What did you see? Corpses. Walking corpses. Don't want any part of it, whatever the cause. Might be we could find something in these tide pools, but then we're headed straight home. Farewell. Good tidings. Wait, did you hear that? Holy Jesus.
How may I help?
Yes?
Yeah.
Love.
Got it.
Wife died. Sorry. Gods, what a mess. Thank you for your help, strangers.
Brave thou Philosteally.
Of course.
Brave.
Yeah. I'm here.
Following your lead.
How may I help?
Thou Philosteally.
Ready, Watcher.
Got them all. What the jewels?
No problem.
What does this map look like? I wonder.
I'll take a look.
Clam shells and crab carapaces litter the coals. Alright, let's save. Also got some updates on my stronghold. Eastern Barbican started. Those are so expensive. We just work our way down.
Ready, Watcher.
Brave thou Philosteally.
Get on! Sure.
Brave.
Yeah. Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
Aye?
What? Thou
Got it.
Aye?
Eh?
Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher. Ready, Watcher. Dead on!
Yes?
Hmm?
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
At the center of the ring of jagged stones, this boulder casts a long shadow across the sand as the sun moves overhead. Can't get there. Crabs and small fish cluster in this pool left behind by the tide.
Eh?
How may I help?
Yeah. I'm here.
Following your lead.
Yes?
Got it. Ready, Watcher.
How may I help?
Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher. Sure.
Okay, huh?
Ready, Watcher.
If thou feel feeling.
Ready, Watcher.
What? Yes? Following your lead.
That's not very helpful.
Dead on!
Moss and mold cover the bones like a blanket. They smell earthy and wet.
I'll take a look.
No problem.
It's trapped.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Ooh, a new wand. Alright. You never know if the caves are going to be huge or small. Honamu Birdscorn. Kind of you to stop and speak, my western friend. An Amuwa stands before you, his hair matted in once bright clothes in ruins. Equally ruined is his face, a hatchling of thin scars crossed by broader wounds. Haven't seen another kid since my ship went down. I do not suppose you're looking to lighten your purse? What are you selling? The ship's cargo, goods from the Deadfire, a few personal trinkets, all of the highest quality. I wouldn't sell them without coin. How am I to return to my homeland? So who are you? I am called Punamu Birdscorn, chronicler of the Huana people. Strange, I know, but we do not choose our names, do we? He chuckles, running a hand across his scarred visage. You were shipwrecked? We were transporting goods from the Deadfire to Defiance Bay when a storm took us off course and ran us aground here. Only I survived. He frowns for a moment, but then shakes his head, clearing the expression. You should consider sailing the islands of Deadfire, friend. No more beautiful a realm exists in the whole of the world. Well, let me see your wares. Of course. You find yourself facing a towering Elmois woman. Her skin is the warm gold brown of a dying sunset, with pale, fish-white patches at throat and hands. Wavy red-brown hair pulled into tight braids around a stripe of bare skin that follows the curve of her skull, flows down over her broad shoulders.
Welcome.
Have you come for medicines and craftworks, or to share the fire? She gestures to the large cauldron nearby. Afra sent me here. She wants to know. She says that you know some way to ensure that her child is not a hollowborn. Oh wait, what's that Zorb doing here? Who, Tana? He helps me gather ingredients, work the cauldron, things like that. He's been quite a help around here. The Zorb lets out a rattling chirp and bares his teeth at what you guess is intended to be a cheerful expression. And who are you? My name is Ranga. I lived in Gilded Vale for a time, working as a healer and a midwife. Perhaps you've been to that place? You'll understand then why I might choose to come south. Ranga, is it? And what are you, What are you, Ranganui of, cousin? Why not sail north and join us in Ratwai? Is that where you found that accent, Islander? Keep your Rawatai. I would sooner be king of this little island. More of a little peninsula, I'd say. Do you have anything for sale? Certainly, have a look. Camping supplies. Always pick up camping supplies. I feel like I picked up so much more than that. Maybe not. Oops.
Hail and well met.
Offer sent me here. She says that she knows some way to ensure that her child is not a hollowborn. Ah, more of Lord Radrick's frightened flock. You're kind to come all this way. Poor Offer must be beside herself. Imagine she gave you something for payments? Whatever it is, you keep it. I don't need the coin. I need you to do something for me instead. There's a Zorab tribe to the northeast led by one of their priests. Tana was exiled there from long ago, and their scouts still lurk about this place, waiting for an opportunity to end his life. The Zorab lets out a rattling squawk, head drooping. One day I will have to go for supplies, and I will come back to find my assistant slain. How will I help anyone then? You rid me of this nuisance, and I will do what I can for Afra, and throw in something for you too. Well, I had to kill the Zorabs on my way here, so they won't bother you anymore. Truly, you are very efficient with your favors. Here, something for your trouble. Good, then I shall set my full attention now upon the remedy for Afra. I will get started on the mixture, but I need some more ingredients. Some spores from the creatures in that cave there. She points just north of a little stretch of beach. Sporlings, they call them. It is a useful material. I need one for the mixture. You're welcome to any others you find. I have some spores here. So you do. Excellent. Give me one here and I'll add it to the cauldron. This should not take long. The mixture is ready. Take this to Offer. Tell her to drink it before bed as it induces sleep. She should find herself more energetic in the mornings. Tell her to eat more fish and cheese. The potion will sustain a healthy appetite, grant her strength. She's a rather frail woman from what I remember of her. Wait, I thought this was a cure. I can tend to the ailments of the body. I cannot cure an affliction of the soul. Surely not one inflicted by the gods. I have explained many times. People believe what they want. So let her believe. Perhaps I will help. Faith is a powerful thing. In the meantime, she will feel much improved. And if her child should not be claimed by the legacy, then it will be born healthy. That I promise. Fine, I'll be going then. She's right. I have done as I can. As promised, tell Opera I wish her well. It's not like she lied straight up. She didn't charge me anything.
Laying low.
Anything? No secrets. Okay. Almost covered the whole map. Excuse me. I did that one. Wait, is there anything out this way? Okay. Let's go this way. That's what happens. I somehow open up the terminal. That's what I did. Okay. Here we go. Now we go. Here.
Good day, stranger.
You were some time away. I was worried you wouldn't return. Is that it? Have you brought it? What did Ranga say? Yes, I have it. Here it is. You really did it. Oh, bless you, bless you. I don't know what I would have done without you. Now my baby will be safe. I can't thank you enough. Glad to be of assistance. Here, take this. You can keep what remains of Ranga's payment, too. All right. Thank you again. I'll take this before settling into bed. Perhaps I'll finally rest easy. Ooh. All right. So what quests do I have open? Capture the place you saw in a vision. Please pass. Okay. We're gonna head to Cadenwa, check out the restorations that have happened while I was away.
It's very nice. We're not sleeping here, are we?
Um, oh, the hedge maze. Holy crap, I didn't know there was a hedge maze here. The hedges grow in shaggy heaps, shot through with weeds and tall grass. Wow. That's what I'm fixing now. Has that age always been pushed up? Oh, look at that. That's pretty looking. All this stuff is still wrecked, because I had to fix that, right? Those were tabs out later on? Yeah, okay. I trust all is well, my lady. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. So what is the state of the keep? Ah, where to begin? Let's see here. Oh, that's party management. I must build a barracks.
Walls need some work before this place is secure. My husband could fix them right up.
Who said that? Oh. Can I talk to her now? Alright. Got to get to the right side to go to the place. Should have done that when I was here. But I'm an idiot. See, I didn't know where he was. I couldn't find him. Saw a spark over there. I did. Strandy Miriam Ellis. You see a lavishly decorated room, walls hung with tapestries, ornate oil lamps creating a warm, relaxing atmosphere. There are several overstuffed couches covered with silk pillows and an elegant table in the middle of the floor. This woman is seated at the table, sitting across from another woman. They are both well dressed, their style befitting the room they're in. The other woman's hair is blonde, in stark contrast to this woman's black, and is swept up on her head like in a dramatic style. The women speak in an easy free tone, obviously familiar with one another. Though they each seem to be comfortable in another's company, a strange nervousness surrounds the blonde woman's action. She occasionally betrays herself with a little giggle or stammer, hitching over an easy word as she speaks. Her demeanor swings from friendly to shy and back again with no warning. This woman leans back a little in her chair, stretching lightly. As she finishes her stretch, she gently lays her hand next to the other woman's hand, letting their fingers subtly intertwine. The second woman stops speaking mid-sentence, inhales sharply, and turns red. She does not, however, move her hand. This woman smiles to move her hand further over the other, holding it. She then stands, moving around the table towards the blonde woman, whose face shows conflicting emotions of terror and lust. She giggles, pulls her hand out from under the other, and brings it to her mouth. The red on her face is deepening. The woman stops, looking down at her, eyes sparkling. She reaches out and pulls something from the blonde's hair, letting it fall around her shoulders. Then she leans over, brushing her lips lightly over the blonde woman's cheek, resting her mouth against her ear. As she whispers, her hand moves lightly down the other woman's body to her waist. The blonde shudders and leans into the hand, eyes closing, cheek pressing against the lips, still whispering at her ear. This woman's hand deftly removes a small bag from the other woman's belt and secretes it under her own cloak, as well at the small of her back. Then she gently kisses the other woman's cheek and stands again, the smile never leaving her mouth. Well, she's a thief. I don't know if I want to do that every time. I think they're all... No, we're not going to... If you want me to, let me know, but... I don't think there's anything really interesting. Welcome to Defiance Bay. Watch us up in our city, understand? You understand? See? We're not with all that. You got anything to say? You got a name?
Gods keep you.
What can I do for you? What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have time right now, but it sounds like that Dozens crackpot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. He jerks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city, liberally flavored with Dozens propaganda, of course. I'm looking for the Temple of Boudica? Not sure why you'd want to go there. It's in the first fires if you really want to see it. Seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth be told. We got refugees coming in from all parts under some misguided notion that things are actually better here, that the legacy somehow passed us over, so they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. No offense. Bye. Good luck to you.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whiteone's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Marketplace. First of all, let's go get some rest.
Defiance Bay. I miss Adir already.
Welcome.
Rowan's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. New in town, eh? You picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing in the frontier and finding the legacies nobody here. It's the Animancers, McGran scorch 'em, and they nest in this city like rats. You mark my words, though, us dozens are going to put a stop to it. What are you doing out here? He gestures at the crowd, trying to get these folks to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about animancy? I can't talk today. It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adirans at least had the sense to outlaw, which is the only good thing you could say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul reading those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Ingwithian times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Ingwithian artifacts. Kind of raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. Rowan shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do, not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least. Tell me about the dozens. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. His eyes gleam, and we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more, stop by Adamith's Den sometime, the Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. You can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for the motivated types. But I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. I bet they don't teach about the colony that trounced Hadrian's handmaiden back in the good old Adir, do they? This is the capital of the free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Aegean colony, but we booted the flaccid scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Under's Gift, Brackenbury, Heritage Hill. Tell me about Copper Lane. This here is Copper Lane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you also got the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join trips into the world. There's also where my fellow dozens, martyrs, and I tend to meet up with the other concerned citizens. He points a long dome building west and north of your position. That's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. Kind of laughs. Eerie indeed. It might be less so if more kids stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Eldiria Volsnir and see what mysteries are revealed. Well, now tell me about Brackenbury. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adir stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadrid House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. And the First Fires? That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Valiant Embassy, the Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Boudica there, too. We keep it real nice for her. He winks. And what about Ondra's Gift? Got the name because there was a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place, too, if you know where to look. Look for a place called the Salty Mass when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. And what about Heritage Hill? He shivers. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there next to an ancient Ingwithian tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. A lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd, lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off and they're keeping their mouth shut, but mark my words, animancy is to blame. Alright, that's all for that. Let's talk about something else. Alright, got everything, so talk to you later. I'm gonna go to the hotel. I'm gonna explore every building that I can. Goose in the Box. That sounds like a hotel or an inn name. A tavern of sorts. Tis.
Hail, traveler.
The man behind the bar is near the size of an animois. Here for a drink? Hand protrudes from his back and his... Oh, yeah, he's got a big sword. Could I get... Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Barath. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts and you see a warhammer strapped to his back. What more to tell? So how'd you go from religion to taverns? The journey isn't as long as you'd think. It started with the Hollowborn, and with this, takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son. At the beginning of Waidwin's legacy, he was one of the first. Never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Every year, more parents are grieving for their Hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. That's tough. Wrath promises rebirth, cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. Have a drink, have another, and another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Woke up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before and I just hadn't noticed, but they were gone. So I came here. I've cleaned up since then, not that I found any answers. Just stopped asking questions. This looks like a lively place. It was founded in the early days of the Deerwood and Independence by a traveling scholar named Errol of Levi. He wanted a place where kith of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rests his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenberry aristocrats argued with the dock workers from the Gift, while soldiers wrangled with politicians. Deerwooders have never been known to turn down an argument. I can imagine things got interesting. Soon, kith were coming from the farms and settlements, too. He waves at the doors, expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valian sailors than the Salty Mist, and that was the problem. No matter what people say about fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of that Thane. He shrugs, spreading his hand over the bar as he surveys the room. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you asked me, he skipped town, hid out somewhere, hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. Dominance Bay, Jesus sakes. He cracks a wry grin. If only he could see it now. Can I get a room? I'll show you what I've got. So I still need to find this fucking lockpicks. I have people who want to talk to me.
The dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Then there'd be less of them.
So why do they call themselves the Dozens? It was 12 deer wooded and stood outside Halgot Citadel waiting for the Wadewind to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. Godhammer? That's what they called the bomb that blew up Wadewind with. Didn't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you gotta name it. So what do you have against the Dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked the name so that they could do what they wanted and feels like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke McGran too, when they especially want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Too bad. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Proof that the gods are just. What I wanted to give for a little of that. Let's continue on. Good idea. And you want to talk. Sagani draws up beside you, her fox following at her heels, and takes a seat next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
So you've been searching for Persock for 5 years?
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Itumok.
Hearing its name, the fox looks up. What an adventure.
It certainly started out that way. It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
And why do you have to find Persock?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Elitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Elitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persock died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
What happened to her? I don't think she ever returned. It happens that way sometimes. She folds her arms, her expression sober. I'm sure your village still remembers you, Sagani. You're kind of say so, but I'm not so fragile that I need my name chanted in the meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me, if they think of me often.
Of course they do. They must. I would like to believe it, and yet sometimes days go by and I realize that they have not crossed my thoughts. Such days are rare, but they happen. She looks away, tugging at the strap of her quiver. It shames me to think of it, but more than that, it scares me.
Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persock will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
Yeah, in fragments. Really, what's that like? Frustrating. I only wish I knew more. She sits back. I don't envy you. Guess I'm lucky I only have to worry about someone else's past life.
Makes me wonder what Persock remembers about our village. Or if a turn at the wheel has yanked the details out of his mind like it does for most of us.
Has your village changed much since his time?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. but our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
Recently, there's been a lot of good years. My aunts say we've had fewer clashes with neighboring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Persoc helped establish. In bad years, we rely on trade with the merchants that pass our shores. We exchange walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that last the hard winters. Persoc brokered a lot of those agreements, too. He got this from one of the Amua ships that used to trade with us. Sounds like Persoc did a lot for your village.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
Sounds like you're on a hunt of your own, though. You're feeling the thrill of the chase, or are you ready for this to be over? I enjoy the adventure. Every day brings me something new. She laughs and thumps her knee. Just what I'd expect from a rugged outdoors woman. Refreshing to travel with someone else who can appreciate the scent of a trail, that's for sure. Might as well keep moving while we've got some daylight. Let's go. Alrighty. This is where we're going to stop. Well, no, let's go see what's upstairs. I'm going to come back and be ready to go. Oh, that's done. Manufacturing started.
Hail and well met.
Alright, we're going to stop here. When we come back, we'll talk to him. I don't want to get into any long conversations. It's been kind of a while, and my throat's getting tired from reading so much. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you do, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It means a lot, helps the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. Till next time, love you guys. Y'all are the best. I will see you soon.